Whereas before WWE was the only place to watch wrestling, now there's more competition. Impact is at a resurgence and New Japan is making more efforts than ever to step into the American market. Meanwhile, their biggest rival AEW added muscle in the form of former WWE stars like Chris Jericho, Jon Moxley, Miro, Bryan Danielson, CM Punk, and more. AEW looks like a formidable force and WWE is losing viewers. At one point, WWE was at the top of the wrestling market. So what happened? This is Wrestling Up and we're looking at the time when WWE was the most successful in ratings and the reason they have dropped. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Up and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at WrestlingHubOfficial and also follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. WWE was the most successful late into the Attitude Era. Stars like The Rock, Stone Cold, Hulk Hogan, and others in WWE and WCW made wrestling very popular. Between 1999 and 2000, WWE had some of their highest rated shows of all time. Looking at the top 10, Raw had its highest rated episodes on the following days. June 7th of 99, 6.65, June 28th of 99, 6.8, September 27th of 99, 6.8, July 24th of 99, 6.9, April 24th of 2000, 7.1, May 22nd of 2000, 7.1, July 26th of 99, 7.1, May 24th of 99, 7.15, May 1st of 2000, 7.4, and May 10th of 99, 8.1. The top ranked show with a massive rating of 8.1 has been the only WWE show to ever break that mark, with WCW not airing that night. The show was a really good one, and had a heel turn from Vince McMahon, who betrayed Rock and Stone Cold. The show was one of the most entertaining of the time, and when WWE took hold of the ratings, it would never lose again to WCW. Recently, Raw drew 1.7 million people, and it was considered to be an improvement. This is in comparison to a time when WWE drew more than 6 million people on a regular basis. But why the fall? Over the Ruthless Aggression era, there was a slow but sure decrease, with it speeding up in the PG era, and in the last 5 years, the fall has been extremely steep. WWE had Stone Cold, Kurt Angle, Rock, Undertaker, Triple H, and Mick Foley. On top of that, WWE had built multiple stars below them. In the years since, Stone Cold and Rock retired early. Foley had to take a back seat thanks to injuries. Brock Lesnar's arrival helped somewhat, but he left the company, as did Kurt Angle. Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and Undertaker held WWE together along with the arrival of new stars. But with the exception of John Cena, Randy Orton, Batista, none of them were treated like top names. Slowly, Michaels left WWE, Triple H and Taker aged and became part-timers, with The Undertaker recently retiring. Batista left for Hollywood, Orton lost some of the main event status he had earlier in his career, and Cena became the sole face of the company. Thus, when Cena left, WWE was not ready. They had pushed Roman Reigns to the moon, but as a face. It was only with his heel turn that fans began to accept him. With the exception of Roman now, WWE lacks a single star they can call a draw. Thanks to their horrible booking, despite having Braun, Strowman, AJ Styles, Orton, and Seth Rollins, they have not become the outstanding stars WWE needs. The only exception may be Becky Lynch, but thanks to her recent booking, even she has lost momentum. The PG era may be the worst thing to have happened to WWE. The company went from being edgy and aimed at teens to being solely focused towards families and children. During this time, Chris Benoit was found after an apparent double murder suicide. This became mainstream, attracting attention to the health of WWE stars when it turned out that he had the brain of an 85-year-old Alzheimer's patient. Combined with the heart attack suffered by Eddie Guerrero 2 years prior, they made changes to their wellness policy, which became stricter. They also made John Cena a straight-cut face of the company, to take away from anything that was not family-friendly. At the same time, the product also changed and became overproduced, as stars started to be handed scripts for their promos. On top of that, blood was banned from the show for the sponsors that WWE was looking for. All over, the PG era did the most to drive away the fan base. Before in WWE, there were jobbers and top stars. There was a hierarchy, and it was the job of some stars to lose regularly so that the bigger stars looked better. Now, wrestlers regularly lose as much as they win. With the exception of Damian Priest, Roman Reigns, and Becky Lynch, there have been very few who have not recently suffered a loss. The wrestlers don't really have characters that fans can relate to either, as they are no longer realistic. With stars suddenly getting title opportunities after a loss, champions getting pinned on TV, in other cases, it's obvious fans will stop caring. Along with wrestling decreasing in popularity, television itself is losing viewers. According to Statista, in the United States, over 46 million households will cut their TV cords by 2025. There are a lot of viewers who simply don't need TV because of all these streaming services available. Since 2016, this is something that people have been seeing more and more of, and that's also led to the fall in ratings in WWE. Although the rate of cord cutting does not seem to support the steep fall in ratings WWE has seen in recent years, but it has definitely contributed. Along with OTT services, the internet has brought with it many different options for customers. Now there are choices for fans to see anything they want anytime. The marvels of the internet have also reduced the attention span of the average fan. This is also a time when the internet has made so many things accessible to people that people no longer have to see shows live. Shows are often available soon after broadcast, and fans have just decided that instead of sitting through a whole live show, they can simply look past that and watch parts they want in their free time. Many are happy to keep up by watching clips on social media, while others just want to read about it and discuss it on forums. As if that was not enough, the internet has brought with it something else: news. Something that was not really there before thanks to the kayfabe nature of wrestling. Now insider knowledge of the industry is poured out on the internet, with several sites covering wrestling. Fans have 24/7 access to all of what's going on behind the scenes. This has taken away the magic of wrestling, as it has given a peek behind the curtain, something that is sure to kill curiosity for many. Together with that, and news sites often spoiling the surprises fans watch wrestling for, people have less of a reason to watch the actual shows. The entire factor of the magic that was in wrestling is left, leaving only hardcore fans to watch, with casuals choosing any of the millions of other avenues of entertainment that are open to them. In many ways, these have led to the creation of division among fans, and wrestling is no longer something fans can enter and stick to if they are not kids and new to the sport. There's something WWE does really well: it shoots itself in the foot. As any business would tell you, the most important step for them in their company is to listen to what the customer wants. Trying to tell the customer what they want can only work for you if you're a genius in advertising, as then you can convince them to watch you. Unfortunately, WWE does not seem to have too many geniuses among their ranks. Instead of giving fans what they want, they have a picture of what wrestling should be and what fans should watch, and it is their vision they put on television. The fact is that vision does not mean a thing, as it is made up of people and writers who were not even that familiar with wrestling. They were not wrestlers themselves, and they were not fans of wrestling either. It's clear they have no idea what they're doing, with one writer fired because it became publicized that she had been hired by the company despite not knowing the name of the WWE champion. She boasted about it in an interview and called Bobby Lashley Bobby Ashley. In this position, it's safe to say WWE has moved as far away from listening to their fans as they can without the McMahon family stepping into the ring, putting their fingers in their ears, and shouting "la la la, we can't hear you." In this detrimental situation, wrestlers that fans want to see pushed are fired, while others that remain in the company are not given proper booking. Everything is just there, but storylines get dropped and fans are left confused as to what exactly they're watching. WWE does not make sense anymore, and so there are not many fans that would watch a product that ceases to make sense. Something that has changed WWE from the Attitude Era is the condition of the market. While looking at the wrestling world, there are a large number of promotions. It's easy to forget that until 3 years back, AEW did not exist. In fact, there were no promotions there that could challenge the monopoly of WWE. Even though there were other promotions, most were not that big. Back in the days of the Attitude Era, Vince McMahon and WWE had been forced into a corner. They had to make compelling television. If they were not able to make their TV interesting, then viewers were switching to WCW Nitro. There was never a time when wrestling was that popular, and thanks to being compelled to draw viewers away from their competition, WWE had to innovate. However, when they disappeared, so did WWE's innovation. They stopped trying. TNA was never going to threaten them, and they stood alone in a monopoly. Now with AEW, WWE has to compete, but since they are not taking AEW seriously, they are not doing enough. There is no coherent direction, and everything WWE is doing seems to indicate they think AEW will never grow to a level where they are threatened. Vince McMahon has always been insane. There's been no doubt about that. After all, this was the guy that suggested there be an incest angle on WWE TV between him and his daughter. Thankfully, Stephanie turned that down, but Vince was willing to go that low. He would do anything if it meant more were watching the show. However, now that's no longer the case. Anyone who saw Mr. McMahon during his recent appearances on TV was able to tell that every one of Vince McMahon's 76 years was catching up with him, and that he would not be able to keep going and be in control of every aspect of the company. Already there are rumors that he forgets the programming of one week the next week. There have been rumors even that he is actually sick but refusing to admit it. Whatever be the case, every decision he's made recently has been something that has driven viewers away. He needs to move away from the programming aspect and leave it to someone like Triple H who would know how to book WWE properly. It seems Vince McMahon, the pioneer of wrestling as we know it today, is no longer the man for the job. And this was when WWE was the most successful in ratings and the reason for the drop. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.